Welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about the multiplayer combat editor. In this video we're going to learn how to implement the action buffer logic. So what is the action buffer logic? It's a simple logic that says when you are pressing an action, for instance your skill, and you cannot take that action, it's going to register the fact that you pressed the action. And if you can take that action within a certain time frame, it's going to trigger the action anyway. So for that we need to open up our third-person character or your character or whatever you have as a character, as a player avatar, I mean. And we are going to add up to our init action, to our action graph, what is starting to become our action graph, and not just the initialization anymore, which we are going to comment in initialization, like this, not like this, obviously, but like that. And we are going to right click and type in on action buffered, and we are going to bring up our events on action buffered, which is looking like a bit our cancel event that we implemented in a previous video. So you can drag a wire out of the action enumerator and type in switch on action like that. And this event is being called whenever you are going to buff one of these actions. So what buffing an action means? It means recording it. So we are going to call that, I'm going to show you the node we are going to call buff action, buffer action. And where are we going to call that node? Basically in our, when we press the input but when we cannot take the action. So we are going to add up to our use/logic, or wherever you are calling your skills. I'm going to expand this. So when we press in here, when we press left mouse button, we are asking, can we take primary skill? If so, we are triggering it. And when we release the skill, we are going to get rid of this. We don't want to see if we can take the action when we just want to stop it. That was an error. So when we are taking the action, if we cannot take it, we are going to buff it. So let's connect that pin false to that node. We are going to buff primary skill for, we are going to set a large amount of time just so we can properly understand what's going on with that feature. We are going to say 3 seconds. We're going to hit compile and head back to our onAction buffered event, and we're going to add a print string when the primary skill action is being buffered, like that, hitting compile, hitting play. And if you double click, it's buffing up the action, and I think it's buffing up the action without waiting for the amount of time I specified. I know why, because it's not okay. So what I was expecting there is us pressing left mouse button twice and getting our print after 3 seconds, but that's not how action buffer works. This print string is going to trigger right when we can press the primary skill, and not after 3 seconds. So what happens there? I press the inputs. It's telling me that I cannot use the primary skill because I just used it and I'm in the middle of my animation. So it cannot use the skill. So it's recording the fact that I want to use it. And this means that whenever I'm able to use it, so whenever the first animation ends, it's going to call the action buffer event with the action I specified I wanted to buffer. So the print string happens whenever my character will be able to recast that action according to the state machine we built. So we are not going to be able to properly see what's going on without deleting that and building the proper logic we want. And for that, we are going to say that I'm going to copy paste that and remove that pin and plug that here like this. For that, we are going to say that we want this to be a function, and we want that whenever we receive an action buffer, the primary skill, we basically want to trigger that logic. So we want to right-click this. Actually, no, it's going to be quite easier. We are just going to copy that and paste that here in our on-action buffer logic, and we are going to plug primary skill in there. Hit compile, hit play, and double click, and triple click, quadruple click. And you might be wondering, why is that feature for? And that's to make it, some game designer call that feature oil, in reference to the feature basically smoothing the game feel in between your inputs and your character. Basically, sometimes I'm pressing my input and without the action buffer logic, it will not trigger the animation, the skill. And with the action buffer logic, now whenever I press the button, even if I cannot take the action, it's going to record it and trigger it smoothly. And for my brain, it will be like my inputs are being gracefully handled by the game. It feels like my character is responsive thanks to that feature. But often you don't specify 3 seconds. Often you want to specify quick durations, such as these, because if you specify high durations, sometimes it feels weird. Sometimes you panic click things, and if you specify too much time here, it feels like your character is doing an action that you did not want, even if you actually do click at that button, but it was a while ago and your brain did not record that information, that you panic clicked several times on a button. So I think that's it for that video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.